All right, let's talk about something that feels like a modern-day gold rush, but for entrepreneurs. And forget the picks and shovels. Seriously, we're going to dive into a strategy that uses AI to create and sell valuable digital content way faster than you'd think is even possible. So, let's get into it.
So, let me ask you this. What if you could sell like a really high-quality ebook, but you didn't have to write a single word of it from scratch? I know, it sounds kind of like a cheat code for business, right? But it's a totally real strategy, and we're going to break it all down right now.
Okay, so here's the game plan. First, we'll talk about this digital gold rush. Then, we'll unlock what PLR content is all about. After that, we'll meet our AI assistant, walk through the actual strategy for rebranding, and finally, check out what your digital gold mine could look like.
All right, first stop, the digital gold rush. You know, if you've ever even thought about creating an online course or an ebook or really any kind of digital product, you've hit the same wall everyone else does. The biggest hurdle? Just creating all the content. It takes a ton of time, a ton of research, so much energy. Honestly, it's the one thing that stops most people dead in their tracks before they even get started.
So, how do we get around that massive problem? Well, we start with what I like to call the raw ore for our digital product. It's something called PLR content. And trust me, this is the shortcut. It's the key that makes this whole system actually work.
Okay, so you're probably asking, what on earth is PLR? It's pretty simple, actually. It stands for private label rights. The easiest way to think about it is like you're buying pre-made content, say a whole ebook or a bunch of articles. Once you buy the license for it, you have the legal right to go in, change it, put your own name and branding on it, and then sell it like you wrote it yourself from day one.
And the amount of freedom you get with this stuff, it's incredible. You can literally claim you're the author. You can completely rebrand the whole thing, slap a new title on it, new graphics, whatever. You can then resell that final product. And this is the best part, you keep 100% of the profits. It becomes your asset completely.
Okay, but here's the catch, and it's a big one. A lot of this PLR content out there is, well, it's pretty generic, kind of bland. It's that raw ore we talked about, not the polished gold. So to fix that, we need to refine it. And our refinery, it's our AI assistant, ChatGPT. This, my friends, is where the real magic happens.
Let's look at a perfect example. Here's a typical sentence you'd find in a generic PLR health ebook. It says, "Eating healthy is good for your body and can help you feel better over time." I mean, yeah, it's true, but it's also so incredibly bland. It's boring, it's uninspiring, right? It doesn't speak to anyone specific.
Okay, now watch this. This is the transformation. We take that boring sentence, we feed it to ChatGPT, but we give it a specific instruction, a good prompt. And what we get back is this. For busy professionals over 40, a targeted diet isn't just about feeling good, it's the key to unlocking peak cognitive performance and all-day energy. See the difference? Now that sounds like something valuable. That sounds like something people would pay for.
And that little example, it shows you the entire process in a nutshell. We're not just doing a little bit of editing here and there. No, we are transforming that generic raw material into a polished, super valuable asset that speaks directly to a very specific audience. That right there is the heart of this entire strategy.
Okay, so now you get the concept. Let's get into the nitty-gritty, the actual step-by-step blueprint for how you create all this value. This is what we call the niche rebranding strategy. Now, before you go looking for PLR, before you even open up ChatGPT, you have to stop and answer one single question. And I'm telling you, this is the most important question of all. It is, what specific problem are you going to solve for a very specific audience? Your answer to that question, that's the foundation for your entire product. Get this wrong, and nothing else matters. And that question leads us right into this 5-step blueprint. It's really straightforward. Step 1, you go out and get some quality PLR content on a big, broad topic. Think something like fitness or personal finance. That's your clay. Step 2, you find a hyper-specific niche inside that topic. So not just fitness, but fitness for new moms. See? That gives you focus. Step 3, you define their most urgent problem. For new moms, it might be how to safely lose the baby weight without ever having to go to a gym. Bam! Now you have a mission. Step 4, you take that mission to your AI and use it to transform the generic fitness content into a solution for that exact problem. And finally, Step 5, you package the whole thing up with a great new title, a fresh design, and you launch your totally unique product.
Just look at this comparison. It shows you exactly why this whole thing works so well. On one hand, you have a generic fitness guide. Its value is pretty low, right? And you're competing with literally everyone. But on the other hand, you have postnatal yoga for new moms. The perceived value of that is sky high. Why? Because it speaks directly to a very specific person with that urgent problem we talked about. This makes it so much easier to market and to sell. You're not a tiny fish in a giant ocean anymore. You're the big fish in a small, very targeted pond.
So when you put it all together, what does this digital goldmine actually look like? Let's talk about the potential, because it's huge. But let's also be real and take a clear-eyed look at the reality of this model, the good and the bad.
Okay, we got to be balanced here. The pros are amazing, right? You've got incredible speed to market, it's super low cost, and you have full ownership. But there are definitely cons to watch out for. The quality of the PLR you start with can be not great. You have to be selective. And yeah, other people might be using the exact same base content, which leads to the most crucial point of all. Your success depends entirely on how well you do your job, on how well you execute the rebranding and actually add real value.
Look, if you take away just one single thing from all this, please make it this. The value, the real value, is not in the PLR content you buy. That's just the raw material. It's the starting line. The actual digital gold is what you create. It's in how you transform that generic stuff to solve a real, specific problem for a real group of people. You are the value creator.
So that really just leaves us with one last thought. Think about it. The internet is filled with countless communities, little groups, all with their own unique problems that are just waiting for someone to come along with a solution made just for them. The tools are here. The strategy is clear. The only question left now is, what untapped niche are you going to discover?